Brace yourself, Cinnies, because I'm coming in hot on this one. Mark f***ed up Angstrom so much that there isn't a way to make this blurring make any contextual sense and still be on YouTube. And that's damning evidence number one for the incredible levels of survives this that we're being forced to swallow. Next up, Angstrom surviving Mark's pummeling has pissed me off so much that I wrote 2 different sins about it. In these situations, I usually pick my favorite, but I'm so vexed that the show is getting it with both sin barrels. There are bits of Angstrom's think meat here, over there, and here. If he can survive this, there's just no reason for me to believe anyone can ever be killed. You could literally explode someone's skeleton from the inside out, and I still won't believe they can't be brought back thanks to this right here. I'm not even going to mention how it undermines at least 25% of the, oh, boo-hoo, I killed the bad man, soul-searching that Mark spent the entire fucking season doing. Sorry, turns out I will be mentioning it. I suppose it's just sheer luck that the one piece of brain left unfucked inside the shattered chasm that was once Angstrom's skull just happens to be the part that controls his index finger and portal powers. Again, I can't show you any of this shit, so you're just going to have to watch it yourself or believe me, but some of his brain bits were 100% disconnected from his body in this shot, and yet this puddle of blood shows no sign of those bits, suggesting they were somehow still sinuously, not a word, I don't care, still attached to his pulpy parietal lobe, or they just magically crawled with him through the portal. Ooh, the spooky camera ball looked directly at us, the audience. But we're above it, so what's it looking at in universe? The sun? A humorously phallic cloud?
That Powerplex guy will finally get the help he needs in prison.
This level of radically naive optimism.
Why don't you want me to meet your parents?
Skip.
For the first time in my whole miserable life, I'm kind of in a good place.
Premature content with life aberration. Does Rex vaporize his clothes every time he suits up? Damn it, he could hire a personal chef for the money he wastes on replacing needlessly exploded clothes. Would have saved us an entire scene of grocery shopping too. Also, what are the logistics of Ray's suit up? Her costume goes up to her neck and has a headpiece, neither of which were visible in her civilian clothes and appear to have been excreted from her skin mid-transformation.
You can't unquit on your first day.
Yeah, unquitting is for quitters. Wait, what?
Check this shit out.
Rex uses an explosion to propel himself onto the streetlight, but where the f does he go after that? He doesn't do the same thing for his next leap, so the only dialogue that follows this should have been,
I think my legs might be broken, but I'll try to stand up. Ah!
I'll be right back.
oh, for Lillard's sake, did we really just give Rex an I'll be right back? The 1850s called and they want their obnoxiously obvious telegraph machine back. Man, this fight could go on for hours and hours considering they're the same person, and we've seen Mark take a lot of... Oh, that was easy. Well, I'm glad the show explains why this Mark wasn't remotely a challenge for our Mark. Clearly it was the Mohawk.
There's another one!
Yay! New heroes! New heroes whose powers I absolutely understand and am excited for. Go Man with Mallet, and Blue Cape Guy, and gender-swapped Ivan Drago? Yup. I sure know how to feel about this fight.
We'll keep broadcasting as long as we can.
This level of radically persistent news position.
Mom, please. They need me.
I know Debbie's dealing with a lot, but she was relatively quick to send a child into a f***ing war zone. Yeah, it's a superpowered child, but a child who has had limited training, has not matured yet, and is by no means...
I'm going somewhere safe.
She is not. In fact, she'll flat out decline to be taken somewhere safe by the National Guard later on. The only reason she survives is because of the sheer luck that none of the other Invincibles had moms who dated Paul.
You guys got this?
So I guess we're just skipping the part where they decided to believe that this Mark is a good Mark and not a bad Mark. Must be the lack of a mohawk. Cecil sure is lucky that the Multiverse, in its quite literal infinite wisdom, decided that all of these Marks would have the same sonic vulnerability.
There is some good news, sir. This Invincible definitely wasn't as strong as ours.
And maybe we have a chance.
That is wildly naive. There's no reason to believe that all 18 alternate Marks are weaker. Unless Donald's deduced they're in an animated Amazon Prime simulation and the Marks need to be weaker for the plot, of course. I'm honestly fine with animation shortcuts. I mean, I'll point them out, sure, but they don't really keep me up at night. But I do end up scratching my head when you choose to animate one block of white for a character's front teeth, but go full T2 skull for the exposed molars. Suspenseful black screen maniacal laugh. Suspenseful black screen maniacal laugh.
Invincible!
Knowing there are multiple evil Invincibles around the world and being convinced that the first one you find is your brother. It's almost like preteens shouldn't be combatants in an active war zone.
And then we have to figure out who did this.
There's only one person who could have done this.
Grossly misunderstanding how multiverses work, especially when you're the one heading into battle against multiple versions of the same person. And before politely leaving any corrections in the comments, please see our terms and conditions. Terms and conditions include my acknowledgement that yes, this Angstrom is the only Angstrom with portal power, and yes, I know he absorbed all the other Angstroms, but since Mark is an expert in multiversal things, he shouldn't assume that there aren't more Angstroms out there, or superhumans with the ability to traverse multiverses at will, and yes, I'm sure the answer is in the comics, and no, I won't be reading them, and also I don't care, and also I can't believe you took the time to rewind this and play at slower speed, you absolute beautiful nerd, go drink some water. The transparent honesty that comes along with this aerial view of a classic fighting one at a time instead of all at once cliche is appreciated by the jury, but they have been advised to strike it from their memories during sentencing. Face capes.
Finally, a suitable host for Cahor.
Cahoring yourself out to the first guy you see.
Good riddance to you wretched females.
I vaguely remember these people, but not enough to be entertained. I look forward to the day when someone edits all these mummy gags together so I can send them properly instead of arbitrarily. Wow, looks like someone personified the boss baby and made them a hero. I assume to obnoxious their enemies to death? Wonder if Eve is confident that this building has been evacuated, or if she just doesn't care. Don't haphazardly pick up the patient with the broken f***ing leg. Anyway, has to get her away from here, but Mark is so clumsy with her broken leg that I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for the damn thing to fall off.
You can't save her and fight us both.
I have no idea how you could fight them both even if Eve wasn't a problem. Even if they're weaker, that still checks notes. Yup, 2 marks versus 1 mark. Deus Ex Meet Robotina. A couple of episodes, we saw Multipol do some incredibly inventive shit to get out of prison. So why are we stuck with Kate choosing to send her duplicates in one at a time? And why are we only seeing a handful of them? Mark Astic should be drowning in dead Kates right now.
I don't want to be locked away as long as they're broadcasting updates.
Assuming the National Guard won't have televisions wherever they're taking you. Or, you know, that your cell phone will stop existing.
All of my important organ-y parts are lumped together in a thing called a core. Since it didn't get punched to goop, I'll eventually be able to pull myself together. Was that too much information?
Yes.
No, don't! Get Amanda and Rex out of here!
Exposing your teammate's surprise attack.
We're not leaving you! No! It's okay! I've got a plan!
Fortunately, alternate color schemed Mark will happily stand here and pretend to be bothered by these explosions while I explain that plan and emotionally implore you to leave. He's evil, but he's really good about giving a scene room to breathe.
I'm gonna pop your head off, and then I'm gonna catch the others and skin them alive.
Villain is ultimately foiled because they decide to spell out the long list of evil things they're planning to do instead of prioritizing the first evil thing on the list.
You're out of shit to explode.
I've got one thing left. My entire goddamn skeleton.
I understand precious few of the superpowers in this show, but I thought I had a handle on Rex's. But why the f does he have to hold on to his skeleton? Why can't he just touch his skin, which is tangentially connected to his skeleton, I believe, and blow that up? Why can't he touch monologuing Mark's uniform and blow that up? Basically, I think that someone loved the idea of Rex fist-sploding his skeleton and forbade further discussion. Showing a Donald with half of his body, but not even a quarter of the fight that got him there.
Mark, Oliver's out there. Your mother is out there.
I said no!
Cecil takes this long to realize the power of boners is a much more cost-effective weakness to exploit than the noisemakers.
Phase 1 is complete. Meet me you know where.
I'm saying you know where so that any eavesdroppers don't know where we're meeting, but since we're meeting at Mark's f***ing house, and that's possibly the most obvious place in the multiverse to meet, I feel pretty stupid. Look, a few months ago, my brains resembled a purified lasagna, so just give me a f***ing break.
Every single person who survives will forever think of this when they remember his name, even if they know it was you.
That is such an oddly specific way to take revenge on Mark, and it's not even guaranteed. I mean, sure, there's going to be trauma, but he already has a complicated legacy thanks to his dad. I doubt this latest f***ery is tipping people one way or the other, especially since he's actively saving Earth from all the Malmarks. Besides, how much satisfaction is Angstrom possibly getting from people hating Mark via osmosis? Also, remember when Invincible changed his costume this season and nobody knew who he was? They thought he was a brand new hero, so there's a good chance most people don't even realize what Angstrom is hoping they realize.
I came here to find Mom and bring her back with me. We're all the same person. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
They're genetically the same person, but all of them have been shaped by decades of different experiences in their own universes. There's no reason to think any of them share love for their Debbie when they've been cherry-picked as the evilest Marks in the multiverse. I mean, look at Mohawk Mark. He clearly doesn't have anyone in his life who loves him.
Angstrom!
Don't worry, guys. You can look forward to your new role as background cameos in the next Deadpool joint.
We found him.
Pronoun gaming at the end of the world. Angstrom is using all the balls at his disposal to push Mark into a portal, and it's almost working. But can't he just bring the portal forward a few inches or place it under where Mark is standing and just let gravity do the hard work? Also, is this really what we brought Angstrom back from the dead for? So we could watch Mark play with his balls? Also, I guess we're just going to assume Angstrom has access to advanced technology and use that tech to create 100 billion gazillion balls instead of one of a dozen other gadgets I can think of that would be so much better at strong-arming Mark into a portal. A literal strong arm would be better.
Do it! Kill him! Before he escapes or something!
Oliver's right. It'd be extremely unsatisfying if Angstrom managed to survive a second encounter with Invincible. Like, I just can't even begin to tell you how frustrated I'd be. Thank God that never happens.
All I can think about is how I should have killed him.
You probably should have, but you can't blame yourself for being a good person, Mark.
But Mark didn't stop because he was a good person. He stopped because the ground where Angstrom's face used to be was hurting his knuckles. Yes, I am, of course, irritated that replacing the sign has taken any sort of priority over repairing the Pentagon itself or any part of the currently wrecked major cities. But I'm more mad that it implies there's a functioning parking lot, which means that too took priority over repairing the building people would be parking their cars to be in.
No, I'm done. I've given this world enough.
Oh no, whatever will the world do without the guy who always gets his head chopped off? How will the human survive without immortal, regularly losing fights?
If something big comes up, call me.
Title of my sex tape?
I am Conquest.
Wonder why they call him that.
So the only thing I want to do right now is hit something as hard as I can.
Good.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays a villain in a comic book adaptation. Cliché. Also, Invincible thinking a Glenn Negan rematch will result in our collective nerdgasm instead of a collective fetal positioning. I can still see that fucking eyeball, guys. Every night since 2016. He's still in there.
My God, Bones, what have I done?
You just gonna sit there, staring at the back of the seat?
I'm kind of in a good place.
You're in the good place.
Oh, you're the me from this world.
Well, if you were me, then I'd be you! And I'd use your body to get to the top. You can't stop me no matter who you are.
Yes! I am invincible!
Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm. Pissing our pants yet?